Tommy De Koning. This one brings a lot of joy to me personally. I think most, if not all, of the reviews so far for this series have been, recorded with a bit of frustration. But Tommy's different because Tommy did exactly what we hoped Tom would do at the start of 2020. I watched my preview for him this season, and my notion all year was I imagine and hope that by the end of 2020, Tom has cracked into the side, maybe halfway through the year, and really set himself up for being our number one ruckman going into 2021 and beyond. And I really feel like he's done that. We had to wait. Obviously, we had to wait for his debut against the Eagles in round 11, and there's no real better test for him than what is now the All-Australian ruckman in Nick Nat. He was probably beaten on the day against Nick Nat, but if you guys remember Tom's third quarter, he definitely got on top, and that was really the story of what I saw from Tom in 2020. Some serious glimpses of the future, and it was such a relief. We've been very unlucky with our ruck department. We've had Matty Cruiser, who is now retired at the end of 2020, and over the last, let's say, 5 or 6 years, Cruiser's always had an issue with injury. Maybe not even 5 or 6 years, maybe even longer than that. Ever since he did his first knee, there was always a season where he had to miss games for whatever reason. And now we have Tom, and for me, it was essentially the changing of the guard, and it's such a relief, to have him ready to go. I genuinely believe with one more preseason, he will be able to play, at least 70 or 80% of the games next season. And then we also now have Mark Pitternet and potentially another ruckman who will replace Cruiser's spot on the list. So I'm really happy with what I saw from Tom. One of my favourite moments of his season was probably, the Sydney game in the fourth quarter. It was tight. We were down by a lot. We came back. But Tom had this will and desire to lift and find something more than what he had been giving, which was his all. And I thought that was a very important notion for him moving forward, because really we have got to have a ruckman who can be a bit more than serviceable. I mean, you can probably get by with a serviceable ruckman, but Tom has just so many attributes. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be like Grundy or Nick Nat. I'm not sure how good he's going to be. I'm not putting a ceiling on him, but I think he's definitely got the tools to be, more than just a competent ruckman who can just be serviceable. And so for me, he's one of the main people I'm looking at going into 2021 who I say, gosh, this guy needs to have a full preseason with no injuries and no interruptions, because we can really start playing proactively in the midfield with Tom De Koning as a ruckman. He's got the leap, he's got the athleticism, he's got the second efforts, and that's probably something we need. We've sort of been chopping and changing our rucks because of injury. Cruiser, comes in, gets fit, plays 5 or 6 games, all of a sudden the midfield operates at a much better level. Then he gets injured, and then we've got to introduce a new ruckman, a new chemistry style with the midfielders and the like. Whereas with Tom now, touch wood, barring injury, hopefully he's healthy and strong again in 2021, we can start playing as a midfield to Tom, rather than hoping Tom makes a contest and then moving off the opposing team's ruckman. So I'm really pleased with where Tom's at. I think it was also a very important notion for us as fans to understand, okay, well, how's our development going? We've drafted Tom. He's been sort of going through his own program. He's had setbacks with injury. He's had a great environment where he's had to learn off Cruiser and learn the professionalism from guys like Matthew Lobe and Andrew Phillips and bigger, older bodies like Mark Pitternet. And I'm pretty sure it's going to bode well for him in his career. So that's my take on Tom. What about you? Are you as excited as me about Tom and what he was able to produce in 2020? Do you think he's there round 1, 2021? Is this now the changing of the guard? Is this now, quote unquote, Tom De Koning's midfield or Tom De Koning's team to lead forward? Let me know in the comments below about what you think.